What if the creatures we believe vanished thousands or even millions of years ago never truly disappeared? Imagine roaming through remote villages, dense forests, or fog-covered mountain towns where locals whisper that ancient beasts still lurk in the shadows. Not as rampaging monsters, but as living echoes of a forgotten world. These stories suggest extinction might not be as absolute as we assume, and that idea alone sparks a thrill that's hard to ignore. Science often labels such tales as myths, misidentifications, or exaggerations, yet the consistency of these accounts across continents leaves a lingering question. What if remnants of these prehistoric creatures still survive, hidden away in places we rarely explore? Today we'll peel back the layers surrounding 7 legendary beasts that locals swear continue to wander the dark edges of our planet. Some of these stories stretch belief, others feel surprisingly plausible once you understand the biology behind them, but every single one invites us into that exciting space between myth and reality, where imagination and possibility collide. So settle in, because we're about to begin our journey with a creature said to roam the night with glowing eyes, crushing jaws, and a roar powerful enough to shake the mountains themselves. Prepare yourself, because the truth behind these ancient shadows might be far stranger than fiction itself tonight to discover. Locals in the cold, isolated mountain towns of North America swear there's something out there, something far bigger, stronger, and far more ancient than the wolves we know today. They call them shadow wolves, massive silhouettes that appear on ridgelines at dusk, glowing eyes cutting through the darkness like a warning from another era. And while that name alone sounds like folklore, the descriptions line up almost perfectly with a creature science insists vanished 10,000 years ago, the dire wolf. Dire wolves were Ice Age titans, thick-bodied, bone-crushing predators built to take down giant herbivores. Yet many ranchers today claim to find livestock stripped and cracked open in ways eerily similar to Ice Age kill patterns. Oversized tracks appear in fresh snow, wider and deeper than anything left by modern wolves. And when locals describe the howls, low, stretched, and almost mournful, they swear it's unlike any known species. Of course, science steps in with explanations. Some researchers suggest these sightings could be massive wolf-dog hybrids or rare genetic throwbacks. Others argue that fear, snow distortion, or low light can easily trick the mind into imagining something bigger, older, and more dangerous. But still, the stories persist, because if one ancient predator managed to slip through time, hidden in remote forests, who's to say what other legends might be waiting just beyond the firelight? Deep in the sweeping pampas of Argentina, locals whisper about a towering shadow that moves with impossible speed. They call it the Night Strider, a predator so tall and swift that it leaves even seasoned ranchers shaken. And while the name sounds like pure folklore, the details match something far more ancient. The Forest Racos, one of the infamous terror birds believed to have vanished nearly 2 million years ago. According to fossils, these flightless hunters could sprint at nearly 50 miles per hour and strike with hooked beaks sharp enough to shatter bone, making them some of the most fearsome predators of their age. So why do modern sightings still happen? Some villagers claim to see a massive bird dart between grasslands at dusk, its footsteps thudding heavily against the earth. Farmers describe livestock disappearing without a sound, leaving behind tracks too large for any known species. Yet science offers calmer explanations: misidentified rheas, aggressive seasonal behavior, or old cultural tales blending with modern imagination. Still, the consistency of these accounts creates an unsettling tension. When people separated by miles describe the same impossibly tall bird, you can't help but wonder whether myth is borrowing from memory or memory from myth. And if a terror bird could still stalk the plains, imagine what armored giant might be waiting in the ancient caves. In the remote wetlands of Paraguay and Brazil, villagers speak of a massive dome-backed creature that moves through the night like a silent boulder come to life. They call it the living boulder, a name inspired by the way this gigantic shape glides across muddy ground before vanishing into swampy darkness. What they describe resembles the glyptodon, a prehistoric armadillo relative the size of a small car, protected by a shell so thick it could withstand attacks from Ice Age predators. Although science tells us the glyptodon disappeared around 10,000 years ago, the stories refuse to die. Some locals claim to see enormous rounded silhouettes blocking cave entrances, as if something heavy dragged itself inside for shelter. Others report deep growls echoing across the wetlands, vibrations rippling through the still water. While these encounters sound dramatic, myth-busting explanations exist. Giant armadillos can reach impressive sizes, and in low light, their movements can mimic the slow roll of a huge armored creature. Old cultural memories may also play a role, since ancient communities used actual glyptodon shells as roofs or protective huts. Still, the persistence of these tales keeps curiosity alive. And if an armored giant could linger in forgotten swamps, imagine the possibilities waiting in the skies, where an even more terrifying legend begins. Prepare for what comes next. High in the misty jungles of Papua New Guinea and deep within the shadowy forests of Central Africa, locals speak of a creature so massive and silent that its presence feels unreal. They call it the Sky Shadow, a winged giant that glides overhead without a single beat of its wings, just a dark silhouette cutting across the moonlit canopy. Its long beak, leathery wings, and striking crest sound eerily similar to a creature we're told vanished 65 million years ago, the pterosaur. Eyewitnesses describe enormous wingspans stretching 15 to 20 feet, glowing tails drifting through the night, and low screeches that echo like metal bending in the dark. Hunters claim these shadows swoop down toward rivers, startling livestock and vanishing before anyone can get a clear look. And while these accounts may sound unbelievable, they're strangely consistent across regions separated by oceans. Of course, science offers grounded explanations: giant bats misidentified in low light, cultural stories influenced by ancient fossils, or fear stretching an ordinary encounter into something prehistoric. Yet some details are difficult to dismiss, especially when multiple witnesses insist they saw something far too large to be any known bird. If the skies hide creatures this mysterious, imagine what else could be lurking in the shadows of extinction as we head into the final chapter of this journey. So now that we've journeyed through forgotten forests, ancient wetlands, towering plains, and mist-covered skies, it all comes down to one question: what do you believe? Are these legends nothing more than echoes of old fears stretched by time and imagination? Or is it possible, just possible, that a few prehistoric survivors are still hiding in the deepest, wildest corners of our world, waiting to be rediscovered? From dire wolves prowling frozen mountainsides to terror birds sprinting across grasslands, from living boulders rumbling through swamps to sky shadows gliding above untouched jungles, each story reminds us that the line between myth and reality is far thinner than we pretend. And honestly, that's what makes this world exciting. The unknown isn't something to fear, it's something to explore. So tell me in the comments, which creature surprised you the most? Which legend feels believable? And which one do you think belongs purely in the realm of myth? I read every comment, and your theories make this journey even more fun. If you enjoyed diving into these mysterious crossovers between ancient life and modern sightings, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more myth-busting adventures. There's so much more to uncover, and we're just getting started. Turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next. Because trust me, the next creature might just be the strangest one yet.